critically injuring two others and a bystander.
That shooting happened July 14th along 25th Street in South Fargo. Officer Jake Wallin was shot and killed. Officers Andrew Dodas and Tyler Hawes spent weeks in the hospital recovering from gunshot wounds. They have both since returned home. Zach Robinson, who was Wallin's training officer, shot and killed the suspect.
Police say Mohammed Barakat appears to have been planning a much larger attack, possibly targeting the downtown street fair in Fargo. Authorities say he had no social media presence, but the 37-year-old's internet search history uncovered research of other mass casualty events, and he read an article about thousands of people attending the street fair in Fargo.
Investigators found an arsenal of weapons inside 37-year-old Mohammed Barakat's car and apartment, including multiple guns, vests, knives, 1,800 live rounds of ammunition, 3 containers filled with gas, 2 propane tanks filled with homemade explosives, as well as a homemade grenade. North Dakota's Attorney General says that Barakat purchased all of his firearms legally.
We've since learned that the FBI interviewed Barakat about those guns in 2021 after receiving a tip. Fargo police visited his apartment 3 separate times, but say there was no evidence of illegal activity or an imminent threat at that time, so no action was taken.
The North Dakota Bureau of Criminal Investigation says body camera footage from that shooting will be released to the public, though we have not received a timeline on when that will happen. Meanwhile, a CrossFit gym in West Fargo hosting a workout event this morning in memory of Jake Wallin.
That money raised will help send his family to Washington, D.C. for National Police Week. It's happening at the Cheyenne River CrossFit. They're inviting the community to take part. Remaining class times this morning are at 9 a.m. and 11:15 a.m. and then this afternoon at 4 p.m., 5 p.m. and 6 p.m. Now, the workout itself is free, but a free will donation is suggested. You can also help by texting Wallin FOP to the number 339-229-5551.
It is just about 6:52 right now on our Monday morning. Let's get a check of the Fast Track forecast with Lisa Green. Lisa, added up a little rain this morning.
Yeah, we've gotten quite a bit in some areas, especially in the Southern Valley. And now we're looking at drying things out a little bit for us this week. Here's a look at our rain chances. Not too many here for the work week. Today will be on the drier side, and then the next chance comes Wednesday. But even that is going to be more into our eastern viewing area and beyond. So not everybody gets that rain here. So quieting down for the week. Here's a look at the latest radar. You can see the rain showers drifting to the south and east, the clouds with it. Most of us enjoying some clear skies, but there's some fog out there that's developed with the clearing. And check out northeastern North Dakota. Lots of places reporting visibility that is low or even at 0 in spots. Grand Forks checking in at a 1/4 mile. Grafton, Cavalier, Langdon, Carrington, all at 0 right now. And Devil's Lake is at a 1/4 mile visibility. Baudette also having a little trouble there. And now Crookston, that's new to our low visibility list. We're down to a 1/4 mile there. And in Fargo at the airport, we're reporting a 1/2 mile visibility. And Jamestown's on the lower end too. So conditions are not quite getting better just yet, but they will as that sun continues to rise and we see our temperatures warm up. You can see that sunshine here in Fargo, just a little layer of shallow fog going on. Temperatures in the 50s for most. Bemidji is on the cool side at 46 degrees. And taking a look at our planner for today, expect temperatures that are going to be into the low to upper 70s for highs this afternoon. Wind will be on the light side. We're looking at more sunshine. Should actually be a really pleasant day. And then from here on out, we're heating up. We're getting back into those 80s, may even be around 90 degrees by Friday. So summertime, not going anywhere just yet.
Okay, we like to hear that. Thank you, Lisa. 6:53 right now. New this morning, Fargo firefighters investigating a fire that was reported at an apartment complex on 42nd Street South. The call came in just after midnight for a report of a vehicle fully engulfed in a garage. Crews arrived on scene and say they found smoke coming from the garage. They started investigating. That vehicle and several garages are now damaged. Crews were called to that same apartment complex earlier this month for a different vehicle fire. Still no word on what started that fire this morning. Stay with us right here as we continue to follow this story.
A 13-year-old North Dakota boy now recovering after falling nearly 100 feet at the rim of the Grand Canyon during a family vacation. Authorities said it took emergency crews 2 hours to rescue Wyatt Kaufman after he slipped on a cliff, plunging nearly 100 feet at the Bright Angel Point Trail. Kaufman was airlifted to a Las Vegas hospital for treatment of 9 broken vertebrae, a ruptured spleen, a collapsed lung, a concussion, and even a broken hand. He is expected, however, to make a full recovery.
Was squatting down and hanging on to it. I only had one hand on it, so it wasn't that good of grip, and it was kind of pushing me back, and I lost my grip and I started to fall back.
Again, Kaufman is expected to make a full recovery. Many eyes on the state of Georgia this week, where former President Donald Trump could face yet another indictment.
Prosecutors have been looking into alleged election interference on the part of the former president and his allies related to the 2020 election. Jared Hill has the latest.
We love Iowa.
Former President Trump courted votes in Iowa over the weekend, ahead of a possible fourth indictment, this one out of Georgia.
We did nothing wrong. We don't ever take a plea. Yes, sir. We don't take plea deals.
This morning, there's more security around the courthouse in Fulton County, ahead of a possible charging decision this week. District Attorney Fonnie Willis.
Obviously, we're concentrating on Georgia and things that impacted Georgia.
At the center of her nearly 2.5-year investigation, a phone call from January 2nd, 2021, from then President Trump to Georgia's Secretary of State Brett Raffensperger regarding the 2020 election, seeking to potentially overturn the results.
I just want to find 11,780 votes.
CBS News has learned several witnesses have been subpoenaed to appear before the grand jury, including former Republican Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan. Legal experts expect the Fulton County DA could bring charges against the former president and his allies through Georgia's Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organizations Law, known as RICO, alleging a wide-ranging conspiracy. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
An indictment in Georgia could be different from the other three for former President Trump. Cameras are generally allowed in Georgia courtrooms, so the arraignment could even be televised. 5 people have died in a massive explosion that destroyed 3 homes in the Pittsburgh area. Part of that blast caught on nearby security video. We have it. Authorities say the explosion destroyed 1 home, and flames from that blast destroyed 2 other homes.
And at least a dozen more homes nearby were also damaged. The fire was large enough that water tankers responded from 2 separate counties and 18 different fire departments. The cause of the initial explosion now under investigation. Meanwhile, in Maui this morning, teams say they've managed to contain what is now described as the deadliest U.S. wildfire in modern history. There are at least 96 people dead, dozens others injured.
Overnight, Hawaii's governor warned those numbers are expected to grow as the search and recovery efforts continue to grow as well. More than 2,000 buildings, which are homes and businesses, now rubble and ash. Less than 10% of the burned out communities have been searched. So far, 96 people have lost their lives due to the wildfires.
And there's a lot of concern on the island about long-term housing for those families who have lost everything. In local news, it's a sign of the times. Back to school readiness now involves active shooter training for first responders, and there's another one planned for today. The Hope North Dakota School in Steele County is hosting that training. Local and state agencies will be part of a full-scale exercise that's taking place this afternoon. Local volunteers will play the roles of victims and simulate injuries as well. The theatrical weapons will shoot blank bullets. Those will be used in the school. New this morning, the 83rd annual Sturgis Motorcycle Rally officially over. However, next year's rally will have a North Dakota tie to it. 23-year-old Morgan Bauer of Bismarck won the logo contest and will be featured all next year. Sturgis received more than 100 entries for its motorcycle rally logo contest. The field was narrowed down to 5 entries, and the public was then invited to vote for their favorite one. Yeah, Bauer's design was the one that caught people's attention the most. She and her family are planning to be at the 84th annual Sturgis Motorcycle Rally next year when the logo will be officially used. Congratulations. Well, it was a sight to see at Canterbury Park in Shakopee over the weekend. 72 dogs competed in the wiener dog races. And the races are off. The winning dogs will then qualify to race at the Best in Show Championship on September 3rd. There, the wiener dogs will race against other breeds like corgis, bulldogs, and basset hounds. Now the dogs each had to run 40 yards, although I don't know if that's a fair race there. Wiener dogs, I think, are quite a bit shorter than a bulldog. Yeah, they're going to need a little extra time, it seems like. Yeah. And the crowd goes wild. It sure does. Well, at least it was a packed house. Yeah, all right. One yip and a bark right by the hair there, and he took away.
Anyway, thank you so much for joining us here this morning. The Today Show and CBS Mornings are just about to start.
Yeah, we really appreciate you waking up and joining us here on the Valley today. Soak in this beautiful sunrise this morning. We'll see you guys again tomorrow.